Well, hey, everybody. It's me, Mitch, and I'm out of breath. And I never thought we were going to have a stream tonight. And I'll tell you why. Let me switch to my front camera. There, it's working. Oh my God. You'll notice I have no digital background, and also I have to play with this camera a little bit. So how's everybody? Let's see. Let me move it down a little bit this way and move it over that way. No, that's not it. Okay. Let's get it where it belongs. And let me finish getting dressed. Good to see you all. Good to see you. I got this thing all set up. And I always do. I always get it all set up and ready to go. I would say a good hour and a half in advance. Let me try to zoom in on me a little bit here too. I got a different camera tonight, in case you haven't been able to tell. And let's see if is that better? I want you to get all the goodness. At any rate, right here where I'm pointing is my Pocket 3. That's the camera I use to film myself when I go walking, and also when I do those videos of me sitting outside ranting about everything. It also has another function as a webcam. And my regular camera, which is sitting up here on top of the monitor, 10 minutes before I was ready to go live, decided that it was going to stop working. Decided it was going to stop, just give up the ghost and stop working. I got my notebook over here all ready in case I couldn't get my studio up and running again, to log in real quick and start this thing. But I think it's definitely time for the old guy to get a new camera for the studio. This picture looks so much better than that ancient old. It was a video camera that I was using, and I just kept hanging on to it. It worked, you know, saying if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, it never fails. 10 minutes before. I hadn't put my shirt on yet. I'm running around, tearing things up, looking for a cable long enough to reach the computer to plug this camera in. Anyway, long story short, folks, I am here. I'm assuming everybody can hear me and see me, and look at all the people that are here. We got 65 of you so far. Good to see you. I'm just going to have to put up with this camera sitting in front of my monitor, and I like it though. God, I really like the image quality much better. I don't need those lights that I have up here. I don't need them to light my face. This is so much better of a camera. So give me a few minutes here while more people come in and join us, and I get my wits back about me. I did have time to quickly make a cup of coffee though. Very, very important. And it's good to see you all. God, from all the green in the chat, it looks like most of the private community is here already. Good to see you guys. Let me take a second and say hello to you. All right, let's go back to the top of the chat. And remember, if you want to ask me any questions, just go right ahead. If for some reason I missed something and didn't get this thing set up completely right again in my last frantic rush to get the camera working. Don't go away. I do have my notebook here. If for some reason something goes wrong, I will immediately go over to the notebook and enter the studio over there. Donna says, welcome to channel support. Good for you. Thank you, Donna. Thank you very much. So, guys, one more week. One more week. I'm going to miss that. I've been the 76-year-old carnivore ever since I started the carnivore stuff on my YouTube channel. That's about to change 1 week from tonight. And don't let me forget that I want to talk to you about next week, about the live stream for my birthday, and some plans for some things that I have to do. Well, we had, let me run up to the top of this chat, all the way up here. Holy cow, you guys are just chatting fools. Rosie was the second one in. I don't see it on here, but I saw one. I don't remember who it was from, but at right after noon today, said hello. But Rosie says hi. She's gone barefoot. And Mark here. Oh, this is not going to work good because the camera's sitting right in front of what I'm trying to read. So I'm going to have to read it from the chat here. You got me tonight, Rosie? Okay, you're talking to Rosie. Jody, my buddy Drone Shots, is here. Always says hi to me right off the bat. And Juan down there in Brazil says, buenas noches, amigos, which is kind of obvious. Good evening, everyone, or good evening, friends. Tina Schweikerath is here. Got a little sun today. And Tammy Pitarch, how you doing? Coco is here. Hi, Mitch and everyone. And Naruto Kun is here, saying hello. Rosie. Ellen, Scooby the dog, is here. And did I miss Linda? Rosie said hi to Linda, but oh, there she is, Linda. How you doing? Carnivore in 24. Hello, everyone. And Ellen, yeah, the lounge is open. So you guys are all talking back and forth. Josephine C. is here. Good evening to you. Richard Williams forgot to tell us that he's from Copper Hill, Tennessee tonight, but I know that. Viking 442, how you doing? How you doing? Julie Atkins is here. How you doing, Julie? Good to see you. Wow. I got a day's worth of exercise in the past 15 minutes running around here. And who else is new here that I didn't say hello to? Mark R. Booz Sr. says, hello, everyone. And I am Reggie is here. Says Mitch is basically my neighbor. I know I got some people living close to me, and I want to in a couple of months, I want to plan a meetup. So I'm going to start talking about it for people that live close that don't have to jump on airplanes or anything, but we're going to have something here, especially for the people that live close by. Maybe meet up at a barbecue place or something, have a nice lunch, get to know each other. But that'd be great. That'd be great. Michael Pregler. Good evening to you. Oscar Rodriguez is here. Maggie May, how you doing? Brenda McIntyre is here. And BB1 Mac, good evening to you, sir. Josephine C. Sandra McDonald from Australia. Hi, Sandra. How is it tomorrow? We're still back here in yesterday. Stanley Bridge. How you doing, Stanley? I am Reggie says, I've been here for months, never left a comment. Well, it's good to see you, man. Good to see you. Thanks for chiming in. Good to see you. Paul, the retired fat guy. Uh-oh. He's going to have to leave, but thanks for stopping by. David Parker, how you doing? Nancy Aragon, hello. Oh, you guys are chatty tonight. I'm a carnivore. I'm a carnivore says he can barely hear me. Is that true? Is that true? Let me check my audio. Nah, it looks, according to the meters, it looks good. I can turn it up a little bit. Hang on a second. Let me try turning it up a little. Test, test, test. How's that? How's that? Is that better? Or is that too loud? Let me know. Let me know down at the bottom of the chat. Sound is good, he says. Okay. All right. Sounds good to me. All right. Super. I don't want to overdrive it and end up with a bunch of distortion. Where was I? Michelle McDermott from Pittsburgh. How you doing, Michelle? Did I miss anybody when I scooch down to the bottom here? Donna Couture is here. I think I said hi to everybody. If I missed anybody, well, I'm very sorry. I'm trying to get my wits about me here. We have Quicker Ticker is here. Good to see you. And Dixie Scott. Hiya, Dixie. How you doing? Cole, 3350. Love watching all my videos. My neighbor in Georgia. Well, thank you. Thank you. Douglas Price, good to see you. Jackie Glasgow from Bristol, England. I'm glad you could make it. Jill from Illinois. How you doing? Rosie. I was waiting for this question, Rosie. What am I going to do with my extra sealer? Well, I think I'm going to let my son use it. He's been angling for one, but I haven't really decided yet. Somebody suggested that I have a giveaway, but if you have any idea of the politics or the legalities involved in doing a giveaway on YouTube, it's something, honest to God, I'd just rather not get involved in. The liabilities, you open yourself up to the tax paperwork involved with giving a gift to somebody that you know like that, and the accounting. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. Most people do giveaways because they want views, so they figure if they have a contest, they'll get a lot of people and they'll get a lot of views, and they put up with it. But that's just not my thing. So my son will probably use it. It's neat though. It's neat, and they're really happy with me. You guys have bought those things from them, and that's why they sent me the second one. I wouldn't be surprised if they sent me their non-chamber sealer, the one that has the big roll on the outside, their lowest price one. Linda says, oh, talking to Scooby and Vikings. Yes, the Mitch mix for electrolytes is perfect. It's what I use. Yeah, I've been using it for months now, and I love it. No more cramps, none of that stuff. Works great. Doesn't even taste that bad. Itasca Patriot says hi. How you doing? Jackie Glasgow, love you. Thank you, Scooby. And Donna. Yeah, that's right, Donna. It was you. You were the one that did recommend the giveaway, weren't you? Oh yeah. I think I answered your comment with the same answer I just gave tonight. It's just not worth it. Kara is here. Two of you in Louisiana. Well, good for you. Rosie, Rosie is urging Donna to twist my arm to give away the vacuum sealer. Yeah. And Mark, you got the right idea. He says you got to keep peace in the family. Yes, sir. I absolutely do. I need to keep peace in my family. Kara says carnivore hits the swamp. And Viking 442 says my CV10 arrived today. Yeah, enjoy that thing. And there, if you go to the WeVac website, they have a number of different tutorials that are much more extensive than the 60-minute one that they have, which just shows you real quick what the functions are. They have on the WeVacTech.com website, you go to that product and there'll be a number of videos and they answer all your questions. I've used mine already, the new one, a couple of times. It works just great. Works great. Davey Crocker bought the CV12. Thank you so much. Yeah, I tell you what, a lot of people jumped on those things, and I hope to God that you all love them, because it would make me feel bad if you didn't. I'm loving the ones that I have, and I've become a vacuum sealing fool. Linda, Donna, Tammy, Jackie. I'm waiting for my CV10 to arrive. They ship. Evidently, they ship pretty quickly. Let me know. I'm sure they warehouse. You know, they're, of course, like every other company. They're Chinese, but their warehouse here. When she sent me the email, and I got it, and she said, we're going to ship you one of the CV10s. I mean, it was here first thing in the morning. 2 days later, UPS delivered it. So I'm sure that they ship pretty quickly. Question. Mitch, now that I joined, Donna, as a member, will I receive notifications for the Thursday live chat? You know, you will. You'll get a notification just in your feed, just like the notification you got for this video. It'll just say members only. Also, if you go back, you'll see a notification pop up on new videos that I put out. If I get them done a day before they're due to be released, I release them to the private community. And also in the description of the video on any of my previous chats and live streams, and you can go back and watch any of the previous member live streams. Also, there's a link to download a copy of my book if you'd care, Taming the Beast Within, if you'd care to read that. Yeah, Mark says he tried. Yeah, Amazon does not take the code. You have to go directly to the WeVac website for that. Yeah, Amazon is not involved in those kind of deals. And that's the first and only, so far, company, other than linking to Amazon affiliate account, that I actually did anything with. And I'm honest with you guys. I'm transparent. I really wanted that vacuum sealer. I'm not, I don't make any bones about that. I got mine in 4 days. Davy Crockett said, and Viking said the shipping was fast. Good. I'm glad to hear that. The smaller one that Mitch demoed the other day. Oh, okay. You guys you're in a vacuum sealer mode here. Well, I'm settling down now. And we got 104 people tonight. 103. I don't know. And almost all of you are in the private community. Wow. Where's everybody else? I know I didn't make this is not a private stream. Donna, sorry. I'm sorry I missed what you said about your book because my husband was talking to me. Well, tell him to shut up when I'm on the air. In the description on all of the private community live streams, which you can watch now, there is a link where you can download a PDF of my book if you care to read it. Terry, my first live, I'm so excited. Good, good, glad to hear that. Okay, well, I made it all the way through the chat, and I have some notes here of things I wanted to talk about. So that this might be a good time, or I could just fiddle and try to get this new camera to work. I don't know how how entertaining that would be for you all, but normally I have my green screen rolled down behind me. Now I'll have to fiddle with that stuff when I decide what I'm going to do for my Thursday night live stream, which is the next live stream I've got coming up. Okay, Ellen, the party plans. What are the party plans? Those of you that are in the private community know what it's like for people to be able to click a link, log in, and come in to the chat with me and other people that happen to be in there and have talk face to face. I did that once on one of my very early live streams. It was fun. There was pitfalls to it in that not everybody has done it before or is really a techie, and you get things like audio doesn't work, or you get echo or that kind of stuff. But we usually can hammer it out, and the worst thing that happens is you don't get, can't make it work. You don't get to join, and we figure it out later. But what I'm thinking about for next week is I'm thinking about doing a longer stream and starting just for next week on my birthday, May the 7th, Tuesday, starting at 7 o'clock instead of 8, and going for 2 or 3, maybe 3 hours, and just opening it up so that I can actually meet and get to see and talk to so many of you that keep coming in and visiting me, and I only know you as a handle or a name. I know a lot of the first names now to associate with the channel, the YouTube name, but not to do an interview, not to have you tell me your life story, not to be a Q&A kind of thing, but just a couple of minutes face to face to meet. And I would truly love that. And it may work, it may not work, but it's worth a try. And we're all friends here, and we'll give it a shot. So what'll happen? I'll start at 7 o'clock, and I'll certainly, publicize it over the next week. Not that my birthday is that huge of a deal, but it is to me. It is to me, and I'd like to do that, and I'd like you to join me. And if you don't join me, if you don't want to come on, or you don't want people to see you or any of that, that's no problem either. Just join me in the chat. But I'm hoping to have a large turnout. I have so many subscribers out there, and so many people that watch my videos, and yet when I do a live stream like this, normally I get about 150 people. Tonight I'm at 106. I can only imagine there are 10 other live streams from all the other carnivore people going on at the same time, because for some reason that's how it always seems to work. And people, they get tired of me and they go watch the other guy. And I guess I'm guilty of that too. Boyd Lamb is here. How you doing? What it is, everybody, he says. Terry said she loved my last morning message. I was proud of that one. I was really happy with that. And you know what's interesting is I watch my own videos, and I try to almost do it like an out of body experience. I try to watch it and disconnect from the fact that that's actually me, and watch it from the mindset of somebody who isn't me. And I managed to do that. And I mean, I'm not really an egotist, but I got to tell you guys, there are times when I impress even myself. I don't have any idea where that stuff comes from. When I listen to myself sit there and rant for 20 minutes or talk on these subjects for 20 minutes, it's sometimes as if I'm hearing it for the first time. And I say, how in the world, where is something channeling that through me? Is this do I need a crystal ball? I, I know it's in me. I know it's in my head. But when I just let go, it just comes out, and like that. I mean, I actually laughed out loud at that bit that I did with the lighter and the music, as if I hadn't even seen it before. I just thought it was hysterical, because when I was doing it, I couldn't see my expressions on my face. And when I saw how I did that, I said, wow, maybe I missed my calling. Maybe I should have been a comedian. But, Jonathan's here, Bags Packed family, almost ready to come home. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Jonathan's a regular commenter. Looking forward to meeting you when you get down to Florida, man. But I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you all enjoy those things. And I'm very proud of the 2 videos that I made this week so far. That Monday morning rant and the one that I did today, which I was very pleased with. And I thought it was relatively informative and helpful. And I listen to some of the things I say, and I say to myself, everybody on the planet needs to hear this message, yet they won't. I don't know if I want to save the world complex, but it's just not possible. I tried 20, it'll be 20, almost 23 years ago when I wrote that book. It was something, things that I've discovered that are truth and reality, in my opinion. And I thought it might be helpful to steer a lot of misguided people in the right direction, but nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody buys the book. A couple thousand people watch the YouTube videos. So my role on this planet and in this lifetime is not to go down in history as the man that did this or that or the other thing. I'll be quietly forgotten when I'm gone. But for some reason, I just feel the need to try to be helpful and try to straighten out things that I see that I know are just wrong. Just wrong. Yeah, Mark, you're right. There's no saving of this world. And interestingly enough, there was something in my coffee. What was that? Whatever it was, I don't think it was a bug. I was in such a hurry, I didn't rinse the cup out. Oh, man. I hope that never happens again. Technology. First time catching you live. Vicky Farmer, how you doing? Good to see you. Really enjoy my channel. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm still not completely calmed down, but Carnivores want to heal the world. Our brains aren't all gunked up. That's true. That's true. I got some great comments and some strange ones. I made a statement in one of those videos, either the Monday or, I think it was the Monday morning video. I said, I hold the diet responsible for damaging the brains of so many young people, which, in my opinion, is the cause of the stupidity. If their brains don't develop and they're not working right, and this has been going on long enough that the current generation, that's maybe 20 years old or younger, all they know is sugar, seed oils, and grains. That's it. That's what they know. The only meat they know, in most cases, is what they get at McDonald's and Burger King, smothered under seed oils, sugars, and surrounded by grains. The nursing homes, they can't build them fast enough. They can't build them fast enough. Nobody used to lose that. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, there were some senile old people. They were usually in their 80s and 90s, but these people are 50s and 60s now, and they're filling up extended care facilities because of dementia. It's not rocket science, and it's not unknown what causes all these health conditions that didn't exist 60 and 70 years ago, and yet nothing changes. You know, the menu at the hospital is still the same. The menu in the school cafeteria is still exactly the same. They're feeding the military the same food. And a few radicals like us, we're quiet radicals, but we're radicals nonetheless. We eat meat, and we get healthy. That's not good enough. That's not good enough for them to even notice. So we're making a little dent, but we're primarily just like a little enclave of people surrounding our little community with defenses to keep the people out and let us do what we want to do. And we do what we want to do. We do what we want to do. Paul Brown is here, new sub. Great channel. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate that. Naomi Jones, hoping to be staying out of the nursing home with this way of eating. Well, I think it's your best shot. I think it's your best shot. I just got a comment. I got a comment like 10 minutes before I came in here and realized my camera wasn't working, and I had to completely rebuild my studio in order to get this live stream on the air. And it was from Silly Woman, and she said, maybe I should try to find it and read it here. Bear with me. Indulge me for a second, because it was recent. I should be able to find it. So let's go back. Oh, I love these comments. Most of them are great. Most of them are great. Let's see. Here it is, right here. I won't tell you who it's from, but no matter, now this is a real comment, no matter the benefits, it's not good for everyone. I had diarrhea for 8 months. I decided to add 50 grams of carbs a day and feel better. I did lose 20 pounds on carnivore, but my skin is loose, lost my breasts, and my face was more wrinkled. Mitch doesn't look healthy to me. I'm sure others have had problems. The Bible says the first humans ate plants, not meat. What the hell am I supposed to do with that? My answer was, I don't even know what to say to that. What? Tell me. I get these kind of things, maybe 1 out of 30, 1 out of 40 comments among the compliments and things that make me feel good. I get this kind of stuff. And I say to myself, Mitch doesn't look that great. Well, yeah, I've got my jowls are showing a little bit, and I've got this under here, and I'm 77 years old, for God's sakes. But I'm still doing pull-ups, I mean, what the hell can I expect, or any of us, can we expect to look at when we're pushing 80? And I probably could have lived with that compliment until she pulled in the Bible stuff at the end. And no offense to any of you people that are religious, but it's pretty well known that the Bible's at most a couple thousand years back in history, and the first humans, Homo naledi, I think, lived almost 3 million years ago. So how does the Bible know what the first humans were eating 3 million years ago, and that they were eating plants? And I can't debate these people. I can't talk to these people. I don't know. Yeah, there you go. Tom says, stop listening to idiots. I don't listen to these people, but I do read this stuff. And once you read it, you can't unknow it. I don't want to delete these people's posts. I don't want to hide them from the channel. I just want you to know what it's like. In case you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel. The one thing you'll hear uniformly from people who are on YouTube is about the lunatic comments that they get bombarded with. But I guess in the long run, I'd rather that than get no comments from anybody. Turkey neck. It's unavoidable. Well, it's not unavoidable. Let me show you. Because my last marriage was to a woman who was such a perfectionist that the minute she started to get older, she lived in the plastic surgeons. Always something, because she couldn't live with the fact that she wasn't looking older. What they do is you walk into the plastic surgeons. He comes up behind you. He takes his thumbs and he puts them here on your neck, and he pulls back like this and holds your skin back. Now look what that does to my turkey neck. Look at it. It makes me look 20 years younger. See that? Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? 20 years younger. Just by from behind pulling back the skin. And that's what they do when they do a facelift. They tighten that skin up right there, and it pulls all of this back up. And they do the same thing for other places on your face. Problem is, or they want to inject you full of Botox and other kinds of crap. And it turns out ruining you. It ruins you. It makes you look like a freak after you had enough of these things. You all remember Phyllis Diller? Remember Phyllis Diller? She had a line. She said she was on Johnny Carson or something like that, and they were talking about her constant plastic surgery, and she said, I want to have facelifts until my ears meet. Oh, yeah, Dixie, don't F with your face. It's absolutely true. And I met a guy when I had my restaurant. Had a fairly wealthy guy, a real estate developer. Used to come in all the time around lunchtime, and I got friendly with him. And he was in his 60s, mid-60s back then. So was I. He was about my age. And he he kept having facelifts. And I said to him, what the hell are you doing? What do you care? Age gracefully. He said, and this is true, and it's unfortunate. He said, I wish I could. But if you, in my business, he says, at the level of development that he did, he said basically, if you don't look young, you're irrelevant. Now, I don't know whether he really believed that, and that was just an excuse because he was vain, or if it was the truth. I'm still, if I look back on both ways on whether I actually believe that that was a legitimate excuse or that was something he figured that he didn't want to tell me that he was vain and didn't like looking older. But I can understand it, because if you're dealing in an industry where there's a lot of young, vibrant, and vital people, when you start getting older, they look at old people as over the hill, done, finished, and they may not want to do business with them. So it's interesting. It's interesting. But no facelifts for me. Interestingly enough, whoa, Rosie, thank you, sweetie. I appreciate that. Rosie, little super chat. Let me see if I can get it up here. I have to scroll all the way to the bottom of this other chat. God, you guys are chatting away. There it is. What does she say? Rosie says, my carnivore doctor stopped telling women to get mammograms because it causes trauma to the breast tissue. She sends them to HerScan Mobile. Search and read about it, ladies. It's interesting. That's really interesting. I, of course, don't know much about mammograms, but from what I thought I heard was that they're dialing back on the frequency of those things. Same thing with men's prostate exams. They're kind of dialing back on this bend over rubber glove snapping stuff that we love so much. But thank you, Rosie. Thank you very much. I don't know. It's possible. I think the best seems to be, from all the latest information coming out, the best preventive thing we can do to prevent cancers is not eat sugar and stay healthy. It's no coincidence that the cancer rates have been rising pretty much at the same exact rate as all the other metabolic diseases have been rising, along with the increased consumption of sugars, seed oils, and grains. Michelle McDermott says, ouch. My doctor said carnivore causes kidney stones. I just glared at her. Turi, they have no idea. You know, it's like, honest to God, it's like old wives' tales with these doctors, but, that's what they were taught. How could they possibly know? There are no studies. There are no experiments where they inconclusively found over a period of so many years, by strict controls and double blinding and randomized controls, that this group ate the meat and this group didn't, and the group that ate the meat had 5 times the instance of kidney disease or kidney stones. They never have. There are no studies like that. There are no studies, nutritional studies, I think, that absolutely prove anything either way. And that's the problem. They do studies, but there's so many problems with them and confounders and fraud in the way they read and present the data, that none of those things are worth anything. They're all epidemiological studies. They all rely on surveys. How can you can't do a double-blind study when it comes to diet. I've said this before. You can't do a double-blind study. A double-blind study means the participants in the study have no idea which group they're in, whether they're in the group that's, say, getting the drug they're testing, or they're in the group that's getting a placebo or a sugar pill that looks exactly the same. It's in the same capsule or pill form as the real drug. That's half the blind part. The double blind means the people administering the study and handing out the medicine don't know either. Nobody knows who is getting the medicine and who isn't, except one person or maybe two that are running the study, and that information is treated like highly top secret military information. Nobody knows. And if that ever gets compromised, the study is over. It's done. How can you do that with food? Let's suppose I'm going to do a study. I'm going to give one group French fries, and I'm going to give the other group Oreo cookies. And the purpose of my study is to find out who gets fatter faster, the people eating the French fries or the Oreo cookies. How am I going to keep from the people who are in the study what they're eating? How am I going to keep the people who eat the French fries from knowing that they're not eating Oreo cookies? You can't. You can't. It's by the nature of the fact that if you're going to eat it, you know what the hell it is. And it's silly. Most of these studies are not for science. They're concocted as a gimmick to promote some agenda, like most of the drug studies. You think they're really interested in finding out this new drug they've put $1 billion in is no good and kills people? No. They need a piece of paper that says it works and here's why and we proved it. Nadine Stachon, how you doing? Question. You got my attention with all those cues, yeah. Hi, Mitch. Head carnivore leader. Do we need to become a member to join your birthday bash? No, not at all. Nobody needs to become a member for anything. This is not one of these deals where I'm not talking to you unless you're a member. No, that's a little bit extra. Everything I do on this channel is wide open to everybody. I did the member thing initially because YouTube was just promoting the hell out of it. I kept getting emails and everything. Do this, do this, do this, do this. And I said, okay, we'll give it a try and see what happens. But I don't do like most of the people do with their member channels. Most of them have different tiers of membership. You've seen those. For $3 a month, you're a basic member. If you $10 a month, you get an extra 2 live streams. You pay $50 a month, you get to be on a Zoom call. If you pay $500 a month, I'll give you my phone number. I mean, that's basically what they're doing. And if you're a big doctor and you've got a big following and your time is valuable and it is worth money, and there are people who would rather give you the money than give it to a doctor that isn't going to help them. And I don't see anything wrong with that, but I'm not in a position nor do I want to do something like that. I do this. I enjoy these live streams, and it helps me. It's a way for a couple of bucks of, what is it, $3.99. People want to help support my efforts. Like the new camera I had to buy, or the new laptop computer I had to buy, and looks like I got to buy another new camera now, and because you need equipment to do this. It's nice of you guys to help me out if you think I'm helping you out. If you don't, there's no obligation. So no, wide open. The link will be in the chat. It'll be StreamYard.com link. You click on it. I might, just for fun here, show you what. Now, I think I'm going to make a video sometime next week. Make a little video because I want to make sure I don't just do it on the fly and show you what will happen when you click on the link, what you'll see, kind of a little tutorial on how to get through that, what buttons to push. It's very intuitive. Any of you that have ever used FaceTime, you know, any one of these video chat things, Zoom, been on a Zoom call, Microsoft Teams, any of you that have ever used those things, the easiest and most foolproof way for you to do it is just use your cell phone. Just use your cell phone. Open a browser, you know, or you're in the middle of a YouTube video, go into the chat, click the link on your cell phone, and it'll do everything. It'll set you up. Your audio will be good. Your video will be good. There won't be any echoes, and it's almost foolproof. Or a tablet. When you start getting involved in a computer with Windows, that's when you have to learn a little bit about what to push and what to turn. So no, love to see you. I love to see all of you, even if it's just 2-3 minutes. So I get a chance to put a face to the people that I've basically become friends with. It's almost like online dating. I've said people fall in love on these online dating sites, and all they've seen of the other person is a picture and some emails, and even having never talked on the phone or never had a video chat, the picture that they have in their mind is probably not even the person, and if it is, it's the person as they looked 30 years ago. And if you want to know how I know about that, I'll tell you about my 6 or 7 years of online dating experience. I could do a stand-up routine about that. But you have that mental image of this person, and you are writing back and forth in emails, and even if you've never talked, but especially if you've talked on the phone, people fall in love. People get engaged to be married, and they've never met, usually setting themselves up for one of life's greatest disappointments. And I always I can't lie about that stuff. I mean, if my picture was a year old, I would take a new picture. I didn't, but most women that especially the older women, because, you know, let's face it, I was in my mid to late 60s when I was doing all this internet dating, and I've always would have much rather date a woman closer to my age. I'm not one of these guys that wants to date somebody that's younger than my children. I couldn't talk to them. They're a generation behind me. But women of my age back then were very self-conscious about their looks, about getting older, and they would invariably put up pictures of themselves that were 20, 30 years old, older than they really were. And they all believed they still looked close enough to that. And I used to joke, because you go have these coffee meetings with them, because you have to protect yourself. You want to protect your privacy. You don't want to obligate yourself to a big expensive date with somebody you've never met. So you meet at a Starbucks, or you meet at Panera Bread or something for a cup of coffee, and you see if there's, if they're being honest with you about who they are. And I, 9 out of 10 times, was incredibly disappointed, because I can only say that when you finally, you walk in and they recognize you, and I never said this, but this is what was going through my mind. I wanted to say, "Hi, I'm Mitch. I'm here to meet your daughter." If you know what I mean. Because the pictures of them were not what they looked like now. It would be a picture of what their daughter would look like now. But I never said that. I was always polite. I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But after all those years and all that coffee, it wasn't for me. And after enough of years of that, I decided, well, it's about time. It's about time for me to just become a confirmed bachelor, I suppose, for the rest of my life. And it's not bad. It's not bad. Oh, let me catch up with the chat here. I did write down some stuff to talk about, and here I am talking about online dating. Imagine that. Oh, okay. I don't see him in the chat tonight. Evan Moffick, the carnivore rabbi. I told you all that I did an interview last week with him, and I think he sent me an email today and said that he was planning on releasing it on his channel tomorrow. And I think it was a pretty good interview. Pretty good interview. He's an interesting guy. Young guy, 45 years old. And Boyd Lamb said that loves me, the rabbi. Yeah, I think it was a good interview, and I think you'd enjoy watching it. I was in my usual rare form. And I asked him, I said, well, send me a link to it when you upload it, and so I can put out a community post so my viewers can watch it. Maybe you'll get some subscriptions out of it. He's got a brand new channel. He wants to get some viewers, so I'm happy to help him out, but I haven't gotten it yet. So if I don't get it before he airs it, and he does air it, I'll try to get a copy of it and maybe re-air it on my channel. But anyway, I'd like you guys to see it. I think it was pretty good. Question from Ellen. Look at question from Frankie Durso III. How far back is that? How far back is that, Ellen? I don't see that question. Not far, says Mark. Nadine, Viking, Kara, Randy. Hey, Randy K, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Question from Frankie Durso. Oh, Ellen says, hi, Frankie Durso. So glad you're here. You will find lots of support from great people. Okay. Here it is. Got it. Frankie Durso III. Hey. He says, I just discovered your channel on YouTube. I had a stroke 5 years ago this October. I'm now disabled on pills for gout, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure. Oh, sorry to hear that, man. Do you think carnivore is for me? Can I give you the standard Ken Berry answer? Because I agree with it. Now, is carnivore for you to go cold turkey first thing tomorrow morning? Hard to say. Probably not. Can you start weaning yourself off of the seed oils, the sugars, and the grains and increase the amount of meat and fat you eat, especially the amount of fat that you eat? The goal is 60 to 70% of your calories from animal fat. And that means butter, lard, tallow. That means animal fats. 70% of your calories, which equate to about 50% of the weight of your food in grams. Will your body have to go through some transformative changes that might seem a little unpleasant and a shock to your system? Yes. That's why for some people, depending on the condition that they're in, it might be hard to do. They might think they're killing themselves, for God's sake. So, but the ultimate answer to that question, as Ken Berry always says, are you a human being? By that he means this is the diet that human beings are physiologically adapted to thrive on. We evolved on this diet. We're not supposed to be eating copious amount of carbohydrates. We're not supposed to be eating plants in any quantities, especially when we don't need them for survival. And our mechanisms in our body work better with meat and animal fats. They're much easier to digest. They normalize your blood sugar, your insulin. They correct metabolic imbalance. And again, all this is still, well, the caveat is that you haven't damaged your machinery so much that getting it back might be impossible. That's where, of course, the best course of action would be to find a medical professional who agrees with us in the carnivore community and knows that that stuff, like so many of these brilliant doctors who learned that the crap they were taught in medical school was all wrong and had the guts to get off of that wagon. It's hard for me to say. I can't give you advice, man. I'm not a doctor. I understand what it is. I don't know you. But I do know that it probably couldn't hurt to increase the amount of meat and animal fat you eat. And I might do it, if I were, I don't know how much damage you had from the stroke, but a stroke doesn't cause metabolic damage. So you're probably okay there. If you have diabetes, cutting down on the carbs is, can only help. So the long answer to that short question is yes, you could do carnivore. How you get into it and get used to it is something I can't help you with. But there's tons of information out there, so I would certainly consider it. Yeah, Jonathan, I expect to see you in here. I'm sure you know how to come in on StreamYard. Try it, my friend. Mike K says it will amaze you. A lot of people have seen amazing things, and especially me. I mean, even though some lady thinks I'm not looking too good these days. When I was heavy and my face was all filled out, of course it appears I looked younger because what wrinkles I have and what lines I have were all filled up with fat underneath. Fat people always look younger. I don't know. Ellen's not going to give medical advice either. But yes, if you are a human, that's it. That's what Ken Berry says, and I think it's just logic and common sense. My two favorite things in this world. It has to be, whatever it is, whatever you're considering, it has to make sense and it has to be logical. Anne, Bielecki, how you doing? Now I've weight in the face. I have more lines, but feel more youthful. And Kara says, who gives a flip if you look young? Yeah, I mean, I never wanted to look young. I never wanted people to think I was younger than I was. I'm proud of my age, and I think you should wear your age proudly. I always felt that way. If sense were common, everyone would have it. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And the world wouldn't be as stupid as it is. Anyway, what else did I have for you guys tonight? We have right here on the bottom of my notes. I have one sentence. Common sense has left the building. I had that thought today. I can read what I wrote here. Talk about the reason I'm so in your face about my cigar smoking. I know I overdo that on Mondays. I do. I do it for a reason. You remember the old expression, rage against the machine? I don't know where that came from. Did it come from a movie? Anybody know? Rage against the machine. That's what that in-your-face cigar smoking business is all about. You know, I've been smoking cigars I started smoking cigars when I got out of the Army in 1970. So that makes 30, 50, 54, almost 55 years now. Rage Against the Machine is a rock band, says Mark. It's a band. Okay. But that expression came from somewhere before the rock band. It's like raging against the government or raging against who or whatever is trying to force you to behave in a manner that they deem appropriate. I think, this may sound crazy to you, but I want you to think about it. In 1970, that's 7 years before they came out with the food pyramid. Crisco had already been out for 50 or 60 years. I think that was introduced in 1911. And by itself didn't do nearly the damage that all of that crap we have, the combination of all those different seed oils and sugars and grains today. But it definitely did start a downhill trend in health. Yeah, Mark, Mitch does love raging against the machine. I've been that way all my life. I've said this, I don't want to be too much of a hard ass, but I don't take kindly to people trying to tell me what to do. Maybe I'm wrong in things sometimes, but that still doesn't give somebody the right to think that they know best. And I try not to, in my videos, give that attitude about you guys. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm telling you what I did and how it worked. And it's up to you. It's not my place to tell you how to live your life or be judgmental in any way. In any way. But that's rare. Everybody out there wants to tell you what to do and what's good for you. And I go through life observing and analyzing the things that I observe to find out what's true and what's bullshit. 99% of it is bullshit, unfortunately. Oh, I see. So Michael Whitaker says, Mitch, did you ever smoke at Corona Cigar in Orlando? Yes, I have, both at the Lake Mary, because I used to live up there in Heathrow a long time ago when they first built that store, and They have a Corona cigar there. They have one. They have one downtown. I was at that a couple of times. I wasn't a regular there. I only went in a couple of times, but it was a great place. There's nothing. If you're a man and you enjoy a good cigar, these cigar lounges are fabulous places for camaraderie and relaxing, and just and I almost hate to say it's a man thing, because there's so many women that go into these things too. Anyway, let me get back to where I was. I smoke these cigars, and I enjoy cigars. And I think if you go back into the 70s and do a deep dive into the health statistics and the causes of death, the big push back in those days was how dangerous cigarette smoking was. And you got to always keep in mind that cigars have almost nothing in common with cigarettes when it comes to health risks. Cigars are not inhaled. Cigars have no chemicals, no paper, nothing added to that, no added nicotine, nothing added to them to make them burn. See, if you light a cigarette and put it in an ashtray, it'll burn all the way down until it goes out. You take a cigar and put it in an ashtray, if you stop puffing on it, it goes out. It's just a leaf. I know, I used to make cigars, I used to be in the business. It's just rolled up leaves. There's nothing artificial in there. Always said you could throw a cigar butt out the window of your car, and in my opinion, you're not even littering. You're just throwing the leaves back on the ground like every tree out there does. I think a cop would probably argue that point, but it's fully biodegradable. There's no paper in it. There's nothing in it except the all natural leaves. I enjoy smoking the cigars all my life. Everybody has taken an enormous amount of time trying to save my life from these evil cigars. I know they're well-meaning. I know that, I think at least they had my best interests at heart. I also know that they're way overblowing any dangers of it. And I also know that, and I have almost a conspiracy theory about the demise of the cigarette industry in this country back when the government was on the same kind of a crusade that they were to eliminate tobacco as they are today to eliminate meat and animal fats. A lot of similarities in the messaging, the tactics. And just as very little of that messaging today about meat has any basis in fact as to any real dangers of actually eating the meat, the motives behind the movement today are profit and greed and corruption of the people that invent and make and supply all of this poisonous, addictive food, and of the healthcare industry that follows along like a street sweeper at the end of a parade, cleaning up the mess and getting paid for it. I think the real health dangers of cigarette smoking, yes, it did cause some lung cancer. But if you look at the actual numbers of people that died from lung cancer in the 70s, you'll find that number is paled in comparison to the number of people that die today from the complications of heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, dementia, and all of the other chronic illnesses caused and metabolic diseases caused by the heart-healthy diet that they insist we eat to replace that evil meat. It was all about money, and it's all contrived. I don't want to say it's a conspiracy, but there are some signs that there are some powerful people, maybe not manipulating every little bit of it, but relying on human greed and everything to do its part in jumping on this bandwagon and demonizing those things which are really the best things in the world for us. So back in the 70s, everybody smoked. Everybody smoked in the 70s, 60s, and 70s. I mean, your doctor smoked. You went to your doctor, he'd be examining you with a cigarette in his mouth, smoking. Everybody smoked. It was crazy. But they did the unthinkable. They decided, just like they do today with their sugar, that there weren't enough people smoking. There was a whole class of people that they were missing, business that they weren't getting. First, it was teenagers. There's a hell of a market there. And when the teenagers all started smoking because they made it cool, it was cool. It's like the Fonz, It was cool to smoke. You had to smoke when you were a teenager. Well, why don't we get the younger kids? And then they started targeting children with the Joe Camel ads. And there are some people that just finally said, you've gone too far. But at the same time that was happening, these dietary things were coming in. The food companies were discovering that they could make a fortune making addictive food that people couldn't stop eating. They had all of this nonsense from Ansel Keys and the vegetarians behind them, demonizing meat and everything, to make people think it was actually healthier to eat their addictive crap than it was to eat real food. They had the Heart Association and Diabetes Association. They had all of these government agencies backing up their story. And the tobacco companies at the time were the bad guys. Now, the one thing that the tobacco companies shared with the food companies was the fact that they both run their businesses on the addictive model. They count on their customers being addicted, being unable to live without their product, and all of their research and development money goes in to fine-tuning, making their products more desirable, pushing more addiction buttons to the point, like I've said before, where they can run an ad on TV and just throw it right in your face. And you don't even realize it. And they tell you, you can't eat just one. That's an insult to any thinking human being. Yeah, you can't eat just one. You got me. You got me. I'm hooked. You've given me that first couple shots of heroin. Now I can't live without it anymore. I'm addicted. Thank you very much. And they're proud of it. The cigarette companies start eyeing the food companies. And they start getting a little jealous. Then they say, Jesus, the food companies, they have a much larger market than the potential demographic that we have here in the tobacco business. After all, there's only so many, percentage of people that are going to smoke. We can't, we're getting all kinds of trouble trying to sell it to children. So they stopped. I think and this is all my opinion. I mean, I observed these things over the years. They made the decision, I think, behind closed doors somewhere, to get out of the tobacco business or stop pushing it and just continue to make cigarettes for those people that just would continue to buy them. And they don't spend any money on advertising now compared to what they used to, because the people that are addicted to their product are going to buy it. They don't have to be told. The competition for new brands and the new big thing in cigarettes is not around anymore. They actually kind of gave up on cigarettes and went into the food business. They bought into, and in some cases took over. And if you go and look down the chain of ownership of all these big companies, so many of them, go back to the Reynolds Tobacco. The tobacco companies are the big food companies now. They're happy. They can still addict their customers, but they can addict their customers from the minute they pop out of the womb until the day they get put in the ground. Because they're making the baby formula and they're making the Ensure, and they're much happier, and they could care less if the cigarette business goes, or they are making a fortune in a business that they saw had a great amount of potential, and they can advertise to children till their heart's content, and nobody sees anything wrong with their darling little kids having brightly colored breakfast cereal and going out for ice cream and eating all that sugar. They don't see anything wrong with that. And that's why we have the problem that we have today. And I think about that every time somebody tells me how bad smoking is for me, while they are happily buying into all the hype and propaganda that these used to be cigarette companies, now food companies, are feeding them and telling them how healthy it is. And they look down their noses at me from their lofty perch of healthy whole grains and healthy fruits and vegetables and say, "You poor guy, you have no idea what you're doing to yourself by eating all that deadly meat and smoking those deadly cigars." That story was the same story I heard for years and years from my two vegan friends who are dead now. And here I am. And that goes through my mind on Monday when I sit and I light my cigar up. I'm saying to the world, you're wrong. I don't care what you tell me. I know better. And you're not going to tell me what to do. And it just makes me feel good. Anyway, that's a story. And anyway, do a little research. Look back at the chain of custody of these companies that are making all this crap for us today. And more and more it's coming out, but it doesn't seem to get very far when it comes out. Nabisco was fine until they ditched lard and tallow in favor of seed oil. So was McDonald's. McDonald's French fries originally and Burger King's were all fried. Everything was fried in tallow. It was delicious. It was great. It had great flavor. It was actually a lot healthier for you. Then they decided that canola oil was much safer. And we all bought it. I used that in my restaurant. I thought it was healthy too. Like Ken Berry said, when 10 years ago, he was a doctor who thought that fruits and vegetables were the way to go. Problem is, and I heard it on a little video I watched today. Ken Berry was at a conference and he was talking to David Diamond. For those of you who know who David Diamond is, if you don't, you should watch him. If you're at all worried about cholesterol, watch everything David Diamond puts out. And Dave Feldman, too. And he was talking to, Ken Berry was talking to David Diamond. It's a 5-minute video. There was a point. I'm going over that whole 5 minutes in my mind. There was a point I wanted to make, and it went away. And it does that some. It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. David Diamond's awesome. Yeah, Jennifer. Hey, Jennifer, how you doing? I don't know if I specifically said hello to you. Mitch, you're Burgess Meredith from Grumpy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got, here. Oh, see if I can reach it with the headphones on. This is who I am right here. What do you think? Any of you who know Jeff Dunham and Walter will see a lot of my personality in Walter. Talk about a grumpy, get off my lawn kind of a guy. Yeah, those were great movies. Grumpy Old Men. Those were great movies. Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau, both gone now, but they were terrific. They were just terrific. What was that point I wanted to make about? Oh God, I must be getting tired. Been at this for an hour and a half. Watch that video. It's a 5-minute video with David Diamond and Ken Berry. David Diamond made some great points in that video, and there was one point I wanted to talk about, and now all I can do is just hear one after another. I don't know which one it was, but again, I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning. Cholesterol, says Jennifer TX. Yeah, that's David Diamond's thing. He was talking about cholesterol, and Rich Legault says hi. How you doing? I keep looking for new names to make sure I say hello to everybody. The bobble-headed old guy. What was that? God, I hate when that happens. They call it, they call that a senior moment. I have an excuse. I'm a senior. I still don't. It's funny. I hear people talk about the elderly, and I refuse. And I just refuse to consider myself as elderly. I don't know why. I'm old, but I'm not elderly. Is elderly a state that you're in? Because I'm not elderly. Ellen says, you get up so damn early, Mitch. I go to bed at 10 to 11. I sleep 6 hours, and I wake up. And I'm awake. And I jump out of bed. I spring. I don't want to stay in bed. Once I wake up, I don't know why. I got nowhere to go, generally all day to get there. I'm eager to get started, and I managed to keep myself very, very busy. Everybody's trying to help me. Experimental research, unethical practices. Yeah, they talked about all that, and I'm trying to think. There was one thing he said that really I thought was very profound, and I can't remember what it was. Jennifer gets up at 4 o'clock. Yeah. Geezer moment. Dixie, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Well, anyway, I hope you're all having a good time tonight. Do you like this? Do you like the way I look on this camera better than my old camera? My old camera, I always thought I looked dark. I mean, I have the room lit fairly bright, but I'm looking at this picture of me on the screen, and it looks more like I look in my videos. Interestingly enough, I've been meaning, I never really talked about it, but I did want to just point something out to you guys. That camera that I use to film my kitchen adventures is a 360-degree camera. And because some of the scenes actually are so wide, things that get near the edge or the top or the bottom sometimes get distorted. And I notice sometimes I look at myself and my head is like this big compared to my body, or my body looks like a skinny rail going down. And that's the camera, that's just the nature of those cameras when you try to get certain angles and shots out of them that aren't right dead on center. So if you ever think in one of those things that I look like some, science fiction alien with a huge head, it's the camera. My head doesn't really look that way. This, on the other hand, is probably a pretty accurate representation of what I actually really look like. Randy, thank you so much. Take a break on me. Thank you so much, my friend. Very generous of you, and I appreciate it. How you been? You on the road, or are you back at home right now? Was David Diamond a guy who went after Nina Teicholz? No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I don't know anybody that in the carnivore community or in the medical research community that doesn't just respect the hell out of Nina Teicholz and Gary Taubes, both of them. So I couldn't believe that. I think anybody that would go after Nina Teicholz would be somebody who was corrupt that she's gone after, because she, she's really dug up some real crap on some of these people. Yeah, Jennifer says that. No, David would never go after him. And Rich says, Mitch, you look great. Thank you. That's why I love you guys. I mean, I come on here for the compliments, Yes, color and complexion looks better, softer. Yeah, good. I don't know if I'm going to use this camera. Again, I'll show you this. Right now, I had to set the camera. See it here? I had to set the camera on my desk in front of my monitor. It's throwing me off all night because I have some things I want to look at on, especially where it shows the text that I put up on the screen. Well, let me get rid of Randy's there. Thank you, Randy. Thanks again, my friend. It's just kind of in the way. I need to have the camera sitting over the top of the monitor, and whether I want to use this camera, it makes a great webcam. It's a great camera. It's absolutely an amazing recorder. The quality of the videos are enormous, and it has this gimbal on top that's, no matter what you do with the handle, that gimbal just stays locked solid straight on the subject. At any rate, I need something that I didn't expect I was going to have to buy is a new camera, and I don't like using these web cameras. I want something that has a little better quality and a little better control. I've been striving, and I had some notes to talk about that. I hope you all have noticed an improvement in the video quality lately over the past month or two on my videos. I'm really working hard at trying to up the quality of the videos, of the audio, of the live streams, of everything I do. You share a birthday with Nina. Do I really? She's nowhere near as old as me, but how about that? I'm finding, once I announced my birthday as being May the 7th, I'm finding that so many people have the same birthday, or their kids have that birthday. I'm trying to get the wire to the camera away from the front of the screen here. That's better. Oh, you're lucky I didn't have to do this whole thing. Well, I'm lucky I didn't have to do this whole thing on my notebook. That would have been terrible. But I do miss the green screen behind me, because that way I can put those double doors with the trees blowing in the wind outside, and if I want to show you, well, I can still show you a monitor, I think. I can still show you, yeah, I can still show you a monitor. That's what I see on my left monitor. But I can't overlay something with this particular camera until I install certain filters on it. The main filter is something called chroma key. If you've ever heard that term, chroma key. It's the same thing that they use in TV studios. When you see a weatherman standing in front of a weather map, most of the time, well, at least until they started putting all these monitors on the wall, but the way they used to do it is they would be standing in front of a big green screen, and the weather map itself was on a computer somewhere. And what happened was, wherever it was green, the broadcasting software would substitute what was on the digital picture, and you'd come out with anything that wasn't green in the actual camera feed was just on top of the picture, just like I sit here on top of that open French door background. And that's why they call it chroma key. And chroma means color. So you can key any color. Sometimes they use blue screens. But if you've ever seen in movies how they made Titanic, or how they make science fiction movies, and you see all these actors dressed up in green suits, and everything is draped in green. In fact, somewhere laying around, that I can't find it, somewhere laying around, I actually have a green piece of that green color cloth, and I could drape it over the back of my chair here, and it would make my chair disappear in the actual image that was going out. So it's all those little tricks, and we do it the same way in these little YouTube studio and the software we run on our own computers here, as they do in movie studios and TV studios with this color keying. I don't know if we need to be that fancy. I don't see too many of the carnivore or keto people really taking a big advantage of these technology things. I just do it because I think it's fun and fascinates me. But in the drone hobby and in photography and cinematography, you see a lot more of that on YouTube than you do usually when you watch a carnivore or keto channel. It's just something like this, some guy sitting in an office or a chair. Well, let's see here. Well, we still got 120 people. So it was fairly well attended tonight. I thank you all. I've been trying to do a better job of keeping up with the chat tonight. Terry is leaving us. Good night, Terry. Dr. Berry is starting a new yeah, he is. American Diabetes Society. Good luck with that. That would be great. That would be great. That's going to be World War III. I'm sure he knows what he's getting himself in for. Do you think the American Diabetes Association and the American Heart Association are just going to step aside and go, okay? Do you think they're not going to launch every dirty political trick to try to ruin the lives of everybody involved in that? I hope not. I hope not. But when I think back of what Ansel Keys did to John Yudkin, I see the same kind of thing happening. And in case you don't know, most of you know who Ancel Keys was. He was the diet hard hypothesis, meat is bad, saturated fat is killing you. One of the main reasons we're all in the pickle we're in today. John Yudkin was a British doctor who held that it's not the red meat and fat, it's the sugar. He was right. He was right. Ancel Keys, political animal that he was, ruined John Yudkin's career and his life. Defamed him, destroyed him for daring to tell people that he was wrong. The ADA and the AHA and the American Dietetic Association and the Adventist health system and all these people who have their entire lives, livelihood, money, reputation, legacy, wrapped up all in a blanket of bullshit, phony information that's killing people, are not going to go down without a fight. And their fight is going to be dirty, because all fights at that level are dirty and political. So I don't want to scare anybody. I think it's a great thing that they're doing. Enough said. Enough said. I have been in my life the target of one of those campaigns. Not as big as national, but it's one of the main reasons why I lost my computer company. It started a chain of events. Because I was doing so well and making so much money and had so many happy customers in all of these government agencies and school districts in North and Central Florida, that everybody wanted the business that I have, and couldn't beat me at it. So they had to resort to political tricks to get it away from me. And the newspaper articles started to come out from some guy who was a realtor who decided that he wanted to run for the school board so that he could steer this millions of dollars worth of technology business to a friend of his who wasn't really in the computer business, but had a company that they could build and provide computers. And he got with his contacts at the local newspaper and trashed me. Started with them trashing me in the newspaper for illegal purchasing practices in cahoots with the school districts. And it wasn't true. It was dirty as hell. And it started a sequence of events that eventually, years later, led to me losing my company. When I won a bid, he and his lawyers would challenge it, tie it up for years. It would cost me $50,000, $100,000 to defend the lawsuit for them claiming that I was a crook, and none of it was true. It was dirty as hell, and it ruined my life. And I know how it feels to be on that end of a smear campaign for no reason. This may piss off some of you. That's why I have so much empathy for Donald Trump. What they're putting him through, what I went through, pales in comparison to the dirty tricks and the politics of that. And I don't know how anybody can't see what's going on. But it is what it is. Well, that's a cheery note, isn't it? And all that, every event of my life, every random turn that I made, every twist of fate, like everything else, had it not happened, I wouldn't be here right now, doing what I'm doing, living where I'm living, on a carnivore diet, Doesn't take much to change the course of your life. And you know what? I'm pretty happy about that. I was talking to my son the other day, and I said, yeah, I'm probably as happy as I've ever been in my life. I don't have all the expensive toys. I don't have the trophy wives. I don't have any of that stuff. I don't have the big businesses, all the money. But damn, I don't have all the pressure either. I'm just pretty much in doing what I'm doing, my thing, and enjoying it. So, and thank you all for going along with me for the ride. You say it. Ellen says, what they did to DJT, what is wrong, and it should bother every American. Well, of course, it's what they do in third world countries. It's called being a political prisoner. And yet, God, you turn on the news, and these newscasters, I don't think they have any idea what it's all about. They're just reading what somebody wrote, and the absurdity of it. I read today, here we go. I read today, these gag orders. He's not allowed to campaign. He's not even, not allowed to talk about what they're doing to him. And this idiot judge fined him $9,000 for violating the gag order. Of all the, Jesus, this isn't America. This isn't America. Somebody needs. I don't know how it's going to happen. I'm trying to get the word out that people are poisoning themselves eating the food that they're cramming down our throats as healthy. It's a good thing, there's enough people with political channels. They don't need me, but most of them aren't managing to change anything anyway. And those guys get millions and millions and millions of followers and views, and they still can't change anything because of the level of corruption, which is everywhere. So what are we going to do? We're going to buy ourselves a few thousand acres of land, put a wall around it, call it Carnivoreville, and live out the rest of our lives. It's an option there. All right, guys. I'm going to call it a night and clean up the mess I made as I tore my house apart looking for the cables and things I needed to get this show on the air on time tonight, and spend some part of tomorrow coming up with a permanent solution for this little thing. I think my camera will probably start working next time I turn it on, but I don't care. I'm done with that. And if I have to, I will stick this camera behind the monitor so I don't have to look at it. And I just don't want to have to take it to get it behind the monitor is a pain. I don't want, and I use this camera all the time filming my videos, either in the kitchen or outside or walking. So that's not an option. I'll figure it out. No problem. I guarantee you. I will be here on Thursday night for the private live stream. Next Tuesday, 7 p.m. And I'll make sure everybody knows about that. Make plans to come in and just say hello for a minute or two or three. It's not going to be an interview, not an inquisition. I'm not going to want to know people's life stories. Just want to say hello, how you doing? Good to meet you. You'll say happy birthday to me. And I'll be 77. And then I'll be able to finally change that introduction on all my videos where it says Meet Mitch, 76 years old. It'll say 77. I've been talking a lot about it because it's the first birthday that I've had since I started talking about carnivore on YouTube last August. I can't believe I've been doing this carnivore YouTube thing less than a year. Seems like I've been doing it all my life. And my next occasion will be on August 1st, which will be my 2-year carniversary. 2 years with no, and I've said this in my videos, no cheating, no carbs. I don't consider black coffee a carb or cheating. I know some people say it isn't pure carnivore, but And it hasn't been hard. That's the amazing thing. It hasn't been hard. It just comes natural to me now. Food is not important to me. I said the other day, food isn't who you are. You don't love food anymore. It's just something you do every day. Sleep, I eat. That's it. Go to the bathroom. None of those things define me anymore or are that important. It's just something that I know I do every day. It's a great place to be. The freedom that it gives you from the hold that food has on us and the damage it does is tremendous. And I'm glad that so many of you are doing so well on it. And that makes me happy. So guys, I can still do this tonight. I'm going to get a little bit of traveling music here. Let's get this. And there we go. And I want to thank everybody for coming. Thanks for sticking in there. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Thanks for putting up with some of the ranting and technical problems. But for those of you with the super chats, thank you guys tremendously. I'm going to look forward to seeing you all next Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Be there. And with that,